The sun scorched the rusted rooftops of El Rincón, a dusty slum on the outskirts of Buenos Aires where dreams were born in dirt and often died there. 12-year-old Mateo Fernández lived in one of the many tin shacks that clung to the hillside like loose teeth. The one-room home he shared with his mother Laura and younger sister Sofia had no running water and one flickering bulb that worked when the power didn't go out. His father had vanished when he was 6, chasing work that never came back. Laura scrubbed floors in the city for pesos. Sofia, only 8, went to school barefoot. Mateo helped where he could, but mostly he played football. The ball was barely a ball, stitched together from old fabric and rubber bands, but it didn't matter. Every day, after school and chores, Mateo ran to a nearby dirt lot known to the kids as La Cancha de la Esperanza, the Field of Hope. It was nothing but cracked earth and broken glass, but when Mateo had the ball at his feet, it became a stadium. He was different, quick, clever, and impossible to catch. Older boys couldn't keep up with him. He juggled the ball endlessly, dodged tackles, and scored with precision beyond his years. "You'll be playing on TV one day," said Nico, his best friend, one hot afternoon after Mateo had scored 5 goals. "You'll be better than Messi." Mateo just grinned. "If someone finds me, maybe." That someone came on a day like any other. A man in sunglasses leaned on the fence watching the boys play. Rodrigo Vasquez, a scout for Club Atlético Esperanza, had dropped by while visiting family nearby. He wasn't expecting much, but Mateo was impossible to ignore. After the game, Rodrigo asked to speak with Mateo and his mother. The scout explained he worked with a youth academy in the city and wanted to bring Mateo in. The club couldn't pay a salary, but they'd provide food, boots, and transport. It was a chance, maybe the only one Mateo would ever get. Laura hesitated. "Will he still study?" Rodrigo nodded. "We'll make sure of it." A week later, Mateo stepped off a bus in the city, his first real football boots hanging around his neck. The academy was a world away from El Rincón. Clean fields, organized drills, real goals. But Mateo stood out, not because of his skill, but because he had nothing. While the other boys wore fresh kits and rode home in cars, Mateo arrived in worn-out sneakers and carried his lunch in plastic bags. Some boys mocked him, called him El Vilero, the slum kid. But Mateo didn't respond. He trained harder than anyone. He arrived early, stayed late, juggled until his legs ached, and studied the older players. His coaches noticed. By age 15, he was playing for the under-17 team. At 17, he was the star. River Plate came knocking. The famous Argentine club offered a junior contract and a modest bonus, Laura cried when Mateo told her. Sofia hugged him so hard he nearly fell over. Mateo packed his things and boarded a bus to a new life. At River, everything was faster. Stronger players, fiercer tackles. Mateo struggled at first, thin and small compared to defenders twice his size. He spent more time on the ground than on his feet. But failure wasn't an option. He trained relentlessly, lifted weights, studied film, and slowly adjusted. Within a season, he made his professional debut, coming on as a substitute in the final minutes of a league match. The crowd was deafening. Mateo's legs trembled. Then the ball came to him. He controlled it, dodged 2 defenders, and curled it into the top corner. One touch and the world changed. Over the next 2 years, Mateo became a sensation. Reporters called him El Fantasma, the ghost, for the way he slipped past defenders unnoticed. He was fast, fearless, and creative. A contract extension followed, then a transfer offer. Atletico Madrid wanted him. He moved to Spain at 21. Europe was colder, faster, harder, more intense. Mateo battled homesickness and pressure. The media followed him everywhere. Expectations were crushing. His first season was rocky. He scored, but not often. Fans were divided. Some saw genius. Others saw hype. Mateo kept his head down and worked. By his second season, he exploded. 12 goals, 10 assists, and a place in the Copa del Rey final. Sponsorships came next, so did wealth. He bought Laura a house with tiled floors and a big kitchen. Sofia started university. Their lives had changed. But fame brought pressure. One bad game became headlines. One missed goal became doubt. Mateo tried to block it out, but the weight wore on him. Nights out became common. The tabloids printed everything. Then came the injury. In a Champions League match, Mateo twisted wrong and tore his ACL. He collapsed, screaming, clutching his leg. The headlines were merciless. Is this the end for Fernandez? Surgery followed, then months of silence.
He returned to El Rincón to recover. The streets were the same, dusty, loud, alive. He walked past La Cancha de la Esperanza. Kids were still there, playing with the same kind of ball he once used. One boy recognized him and ran up. "Are you Mateo Fernández?" "I am." The boy looked in awe. "You made it out?" Mateo smiled. "So can you." That conversation lit something in him. He returned to Spain, rehabbed like a man possessed, and worked to get back on the pitch. The pain was relentless, the frustration worse, but Mateo didn't quit. At 26, he returned to the national team and led Argentina to a Copa America title. In the final, he scored a goal and assisted another. He kissed the crest on his jersey and wept. He wasn't the same player as before. He was smarter, tougher, more grounded. The football world had crowned him a king. But when he stood in front of the cameras, he always said the same thing. "It started with a broken ball in a broken neighborhood. I just kept chasing it." Now, whenever he visited home, he brought footballs for the kids. He repaired La Cancha de la Esperanza, installing goals, clearing glass, and hanging a banner that read, "Aquí nacen los sueños. Dreams are born here." Because Mateo Fernández hadn't just become a football star, he had become a symbol of hope for every barefoot kid with nothing but a dream.